Do what we tell you to do and you won't get hurt. One false move and I will blow your f***ing head off. Come out with your hands up. Put your hands on your head. Move your left hand slowly. No, right hand. Hands up, window down. Move slow or I will end you. Do you understand?
These aren't movie lines. These are the real words Illinois police officers aimed at innocent black people who were just living their lives. One man was walking near the beach after a phone call. One man was driving home from Costco, and another was a security guard who stopped an active shooter. All of them were treated like criminals first and human beings last. In Illinois, there's a pattern that keeps resurfacing, even when they swear it's just a mistake. Today, you're going to hear the words, you're going to see the footage, and you're going to understand how fast an ordinary moment can turn into a traumatic event. Welcome to Black Joy Interrupted. If you're new here, this is where we break down the moments that try to steal our joy, our safety, and our sanity as black people. This is where we take real situations that look confusing or obvious on the surface and slow them down until the pattern becomes undeniable. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who needs to know that accountability matters, even when the system doesn't want it to. If you've ever watched footage and thought, wait, how could they not have known? Or, not this shit again. Your patience will be tested during this video because what you're about to see isn't rare, it's familiar, and it keeps happening for a reason. So let's talk about it. In Oswego, Illinois, police were responding to reports of a shooting involving firearms. Officers were actively searching for a black Volkswagen Tiguan with 2 black passengers, 1 male and 1 female, and they had the license plate number, CN 78394. Again, they had the make and model of the vehicle in question, they had the color of the vehicle, they had the number of occupants, and they had the license plate number. Now, the same day, January 19th, 2024, and approximately 20 miles away in Woodridge, Illinois, a black man named Derek House was driving home from Costco. He wasn't speeding, he wasn't swerving, and he wasn't running from anybody or anything. He was enjoying a normal drive through his own neighborhood. Nothing about that moment involved the police. Well, not yet. Out of nowhere, an unmarked vehicle comes flying up behind him at a high rate of speed. Derek does what most people would do. He pulls over to the curb to let it pass. But instead of passing him, that vehicle swerves in front of Derek's Volkswagen Atlas, pins him to the curb, and blocks him in. Before he can even process what's happening, officers jump out their vehicles. Their guns are drawn. Police sirens are blaring. Commands are flying from every direction. This isn't a traffic stop. This is a felony stop, and Derek has no idea why.
Window down! Put the window down! Put the window down! Put the fucking window down! Put the window down! Put both of your hands out the window right now! Put both of your hands out the window!
I got commands.
Go ahead.
You, with an outside hand, reach out, open the door. Watch your crossfire. Okay, real slow, left hand, do it from the inside. You come out with a gun, we are going to end you. Do you understand? There you go. There you go. Come on out.
I gotta put the time, sir.
Put it in park. Put it in park. Real slow. Everything real slow.
I'm gonna shoot you in your head if you come up with anything other than that.
Real slow.
Y'all got the
Slow down.
low.
Slow down. Slow down. Somebody shut off that fucking siren. Left hand, real slow, across your body, undo your seatbelt. I got you. You look at me, nobody else, you do what I say, you'll be okay. Real slow, come out of that car. You guys got cover?
Got cover. I got.
Face away from me. Face away from me. Face that car. Walk back to me, real slow.
Real slow. Real slow. Now move. Hands behind your back right now.
Oh, for what, man? I don't have any weapons. I just came from Costco, dude.
Do not move. Do not move. 61 to 10. Clear that car.
You guys gotta be fucking.
Slow down on that. We're going to explain everything in a minute, but we're going to do it safe.
You want to put him in my car?
Yes, please. Have a seat. Bring him back to PD. Bring him to one of our interview rooms. I got you.
Can you follow him?
Gentlemen, not a word with him. Don't explain what's going on. Don't ask him no questions. Good?
Got you.
Copy.
All right, yeah.
No, interview room. Put him by my office. All right.
This is where things start to fall apart. Not because Derek does anything wrong, but because the officers do everything out of order. You don't hear calm instructions, you hear overlapping commands. Left hand, no, right hand, hands up, window down. Move slow, stop moving. And here's the part that matters. When officers give conflicting commands at gunpoint, they're not creating safety. They're creating confusion, and confusion can be very dangerous, especially when the person on the other end of those guns is a black man.
I got you. You look at me and nobody else. You do what I say, you'll be okay. Real slow, come out of that car. You got cover?
Got cover. I got. You got it.
Away from me. Face away from me. Face that car. Walk back to me. Real slow. Real slow. Real slow. Now move. Hands behind your back right now.
I just came from Costco. Tom, come up here.
You guys gotta be down on that. We're gonna explain everything in a minute, but we're gonna do it safe.
Charlie Nora, 49263. Hey, Tom, this. I don't think this is the right car. That's not the right car. This is the wrong car. CS 794663. Yeah, this is the wrong car.
We're all good.
This is the wrong car.
Of course not.
Yes, it is.
CN.
But the plate don't match.
The last 4 or 5 are wrong.
It's the wrong plate.
Well, we got tucked in about to fucking bring it, huh?
Yep.
We're out to the PD 1 mil 95, starting mileage 106972. Take him out. Wrong car. Take him out. Wrong car. Hop on, man. Place the car. That's the deal. We'll take you out of handcuffs. We'll get you going. Okay, I'm going to give you some information on who I am. We'll talk about what's going on, okay? But I want to take care of these handcuffs first. Oswego PD had a shooting. The car plates. The car is the same as yours. Plates match with... Wait, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Look at me.
No.
Plates match. 2 of them are off. All right? That's why you're placed in handcuffs. We thought you were the guy.
No,
all right?
sir.
You're not. I understand that. All right? Hey, listen, look at me. I this up.
Okay.
Understand that? I'm going to give you my card. This is on me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely on me. Let's clear these roads out.
Y'all threatening to shoot me in the head and shit. Don't move. Put your hands up. Like,
You're right.
This is ridiculous.
Okay, well, listen.
This is ridiculous. I've been out here for 15 years and never have I once in my life. My man, nothing,
But
dude.
you have to look at it.
My man, nothing, dude.
Look,
That shit.
He's got every right to.
Unacceptable.
You are absolutely
Especially you, Harvey. Especially you, bro.
Okay. All right.
What's your name? My name is Derek House, man. I've been out here. I lived in Woodridge for 10. I've been in Downers Grove for 3, man. I'm a upstanding citizen. My kids go to school here. I'm well respected. That is wrong.
You're right.
You don't do that. You don't do that.
Anything else you want to say to me or need from me?
No, but sure, this was my son.
Fine. You're right.
And here's the detail that makes this hit even harder. The one who threatened to blow Derek's head off was a black man, Officer Zachary Harvey. That's why, once the truth came out, Derek didn't just express anger. He also expressed disbelief and disappointment. He looked directly at Officer Zachary Harvey and told him he expected better. Harvey said nothing. Let that sit for a second. That wasn't said after Derek reached for anything. That wasn't said after he made a threat. That wasn't said after a weapon was seen. That was said after the confusion the officers created, because Officer Harvey was on that execution-level language right out the gate.
I'm gonna shoot you in your head if you come up with anything other than that.
And at this point, Derek's hands are empty, and he was trying to comply with their commands, but for the confusion. And he's trying to understand how a normal drive turned into a death threat while Officer Murray is in his face, telling him that he made a huge mistake. But back to the story. Derek tries to speak, but in moments like this, the truth doesn't matter. Innocence doesn't matter. What matters is what officers decide you are, not who you actually are. They instructed Derek out of the SUV with 3 officers locked in on him with their guns. They forced him to walk backward towards them, guns still trained on his body. Then they went through his pockets and cuffed him. They slapped the metal cuffs tight around his wrists, and they put him in the back of a patrol car. Only after he's restrained, only after his life has already been put at risk, does an officer finally do the thing that should have happened first. What matters here isn't just that the plate didn't match. It's that the officer in control didn't want to accept it. Daniel Murray, the lead officer, argued against the evidence.
That's not the right car.
Listen, Alex.
This is the wrong car. CF 794663.
Fine.
Yeah, this is the wrong car.
We're all good.
This is the wrong car.
Of course not.
Yes, it is.
CN.
But the plate don't match.
The last 4 or 5 are wrong.
It's the wrong plate.
He had to be told again and again until the numbers made denial impossible. Only then did the response change. And the lawsuit makes something else very clear. This wasn't confusion that lingered. According to the complaint, it took approximately 78 seconds after Derek was placed in handcuffs for every officer on scene, including Daniel Murray, to know he had absolutely nothing to do with any shooting in Oswego. 78 seconds. Less than 1 minute and a half. That's how long it took for the truth to become undeniable. And yet, by then, the damage was already done. It's the wrong car, it's the wrong plate, and it's the wrong person. The police weren't looking for a gray Volkswagen Atlas. They were looking for a black Volkswagen Tiguan, a different model, a different color, and a different number of occupants. They had the license plate number of the vehicle they were actually looking for. Derek House's plate didn't match it. And that's the part that matters, because they didn't check the plate first. They didn't verify the vehicle type. They didn't confirm the vehicle's description, nor did they confirm the number of occupants in the vehicle. They did all of that after guns were drawn and after cuffs were already on. Officer Harvey opened the patrol car door and, as a matter of factly, told him to get out.
Hop on, man. Place the car.
Then he slowly uncuffed Derek. At this point, Derek is furious. He's shaking, he's traumatized, and he has every right to be. But apologies don't erase trauma. They don't erase hearing a man with a badge threatening to shoot you in the head. They don't erase the knowledge that one wrong movement could have ended your life. And they don't erase the truth that all of this happened because basic verification didn't. And once the truth became undeniable, the danger didn't get acknowledged. It got minimized. That's how the system, the police, protects itself. They uncuff you, they apologize quietly, and they move on, as if the risk they created disappears the moment they admit it out loud.
A suburban police department is being sued along with several of its officers after they detained the wrong person during a traffic stop.
This happened a year ago, but the body cam video just dropped today.
We thought you were the guy. No, all right? You're not. I understand that, all right? Hey, listen, look at me. I this up.
Plus, the plates simply didn't match.
In the totality of what they knew, they ignored almost all of that information. Saw a black man driving a Volkswagen SUV, and that was apparently enough.
House was released, but his attorney, Patrick Provenzali, says this should never have happened.
You can imagine what Derek was thinking in those moments. If I make the wrong move, what's going to happen to me?
Now, House is suing the Woodridge Police Department and those 5 responding officers, arguing false arrest, excessive force, false imprisonment, and more.
Derek is a great guy, clearly a good father, good husband, and a hardworking member of the community. And he's been profoundly impacted by what's happened.
The village of Woodridge released a statement reading in part, "On the day in question, our officers were responding to a highly volatile situation involving individuals suspected of possessing firearms, slashing tires, and discharging a weapon. Officers acted based on information available at the time, which led to the stop of a vehicle that, unfortunately, was not the one they were specifically seeking." The village adds they deeply regret the distress this caused. We asked the department, though, if any of those officers have been reprimanded or disciplined for their actions, but did not receive a response to that question. Reporting live in Woodridge, Casey Cronus, Fox 32, Chicago.
Derek House filed a federal lawsuit against the village of Woodridge and the officers involved for excessive force, false arrest, false imprisonment, failure to intervene, and emotional distress, because the only thing Derek actually matched that day was being a black man driving a Volkswagen. And for them, that was close enough. Derek survived this, but survival isn't proof that the system worked. It's proof that it almost didn't. And here's the infuriating part about this. None of this was new. This wasn't the first time Illinois police escalated before verifying. It wasn't the first time a black man was told he matched the description. And it wouldn't be the last. Because before Derek House, there was already another case, another stop, another apology, another lesson ignored.
The incident happened on March 31st, 2021, near South Boulevard Beach along Lake Michigan in Evanston, Illinois. According to court documents, Evanston police received a 911 call reporting a white male with a gun in the area.
That description matters. White, male, gun. That's who police said they were hunting. So remember that.
When officers arrived, they confronted Alexander Garry, a black man who had been standing near the beach after finishing a phone call. Police later claimed Garry matched the description because he was wearing pants and a dark coat. Temperatures that day were in the low 40s, and multiple people in the area were dressed the same way.
This is where the math stopped mathing and stopped making sense. A white man with a gun somehow became a black man with a phone. The same coat, the same weather, and the same park. But only one man got guns pointed at him.
At least 5 Evanston police officers approached Alexander Garry with their weapons drawn. According to court filings, officers shouted rapid commands, ordering him to put his hands up, get on the ground, and to spread his arms out. Garry attempted to comply.
This is where the danger spikes, because those commands weren't calm, they weren't clear, and they weren't designed to slow the situation down. They were stacked, rushed, and thrown at him all at once.
Hands up! Get on the ground! No! Spread out! Move faster! Don't move!
That's not communication. That's chaos. And chaos with guns drawn is never accidental. For black men, confusing commands aren't just stressful. They're lethal, because hesitation gets labeled resistance, movement gets labeled a threat, and silence gets labeled guilt. Compliance doesn't protect you here. It just delays the outcome. And delay for black men has never been a guarantee of survival.
According to the lawsuit, officers searched Garry's pockets while he lay face down on the ground. Despite searching him twice, no firearm was found on his person. Garry was released approximately 7 minutes later.
Garry sued the city of Evanston and 5 officers, alleging violations of his 4th and 14th Amendment rights, unlawful search, and excessive force. And the officers did what they always do. They reached for qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is the system's favorite escape hatch. It says police can violate your rights unless a judge has already spelled out in almost identical detail that they're not allowed to. It's protection first, accountability never.
U.S. District Judge Stephen C. Seeger ruled that officers were entitled to qualified immunity for the initial stop and first search, accepting their claim that they believed Garry might be armed. However, the judge denied qualified immunity for the second pocket search. The court ruled that once officers knew Garry was unarmed, his constitutional right to be free from further searches was clearly established.
Let's translate that. The judge said the first violation was fine, but the second one crossed the line. So yes, the court admitted Garry's rights were violated, but only after giving police cover for everything that got him face down on the ground in the first place.
The judge also noted that other people in the area were wearing similar dark coats that day. They were not detained, threatened, or searched.
That detail matters because it exposed the lie hiding inside mistaken identity. The same coats, the same weather, and the same space. But only one man was treated like a threat. And he was black. And let's not pretend context doesn't matter. This ruling came from a Trump-appointed Republican judge, a judge who had no problem accepting police fear as reasonable, as long as it came early enough. So no, the system didn't fail accidentally. It worked exactly how it was designed to.
Earlier this year, the Evanston City Council approved a $50,000 settlement to resolve the case. The city didn't admit wrongdoing, and the police body camera footage of the encounter has not been released to the public.
$50,000. That's less than one cop's yearly salary. It's less than the cost of accountability. And it's most definitely less than the damage that was done to Alexander Garry. No admission, no discipline, and no body cam footage, just a quick and piddly $50,000 check. It wasn't unclear. It wasn't complicated. And it wasn't some gray area that needed years of debate. A judge saw it, a city council saw it, and the paperwork said it plainly. Once the threat was gone, what the police did next crossed the line. That should have been enough. Enough to change training, enough to change how the police respond, and enough to stop officers from treating vague fear like a license to terrorize. But Illinois didn't change. They absorbed it, they minimized it, and they moved on. And here's what makes that dangerous. Garry wasn't the first moment Illinois saw this pattern. He was the one that came after another moment that should have made this kind of policing impossible to ignore. Years earlier, police in this same state walked into a situation where the danger wasn't spreading, it was already contained. The person they encountered wasn't confused. He wasn't panicked. He wasn't out of control. To the contrary, he was doing exactly what the police say they want people to do. That moment should have ended this story. Instead, it was buried. And because it was buried, Alexander Garry happened. And because Garry was treated like an inconvenience instead of a warning, the pattern kept moving forward. This is where it all should have stopped. But it didn't. The location, inside Manny's Blue Room. Shots rang out. People ran out of the building. Chairs scraped the floors, and panic spread even faster. But one man moved toward the danger, Jemel Roberson. Jemel was working security that night. He was professionally trained, licensed, and a soon-to-be father. That night, Jemel didn't run. He responded. According to witnesses, Jemel had the suspect on the ground. His knee was pressed into the suspect's back, the weapon was secured, and the threat was contained. By the time the police arrived, the danger wasn't spreading. It was under control. Witnesses said people were yelling, "Security! That's security!" over and over again. But none of that slowed the officers down. They didn't pause. They didn't verify. And they didn't ask questions. All they saw was a black man with a gun. The officer just opened fire. Jemel was shot multiple times in the back. The man who ran toward danger never got the chance to explain who he was or why he was there. Witnesses said the officer fired even as people screamed that Jemel was security. Illinois State Police later claimed Jemel wasn't wearing a uniform and didn't follow commands. Witnesses directly contradicted that account. They said he was clearly marked, clearly identified, and clearly doing his job. The reaction was immediate. People gathered outside the Midlothian Police Department. Protests followed. Questions demanded answers. This wasn't quiet grief. It was public outrage. Across Chicago, Jemel's name spread fast. Former Chicago Bulls star Dwayne Wade said he was speechless. That even after doing everything right, Jemel was still treated like his life didn't matter. Then came another voice from the city itself. Kanye West donated $150,000 to Jemel's family. GoFundMe accounts followed, not as charity, but as acknowledgement. Because what happened to Jemel couldn't be dismissed as an incident, and it couldn't be buried under procedure. Criminal charges were never filed. The Cook County State's attorney claimed there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute. Jemel's family still pushed forward. They filed a civil lawsuit. His family later reached a settlement totaling more than $7 million. But his mother made it clear, this was never about money. It was about accountability. And you know what? An apology never came to them.
The person that shot and murdered my son, he needs to be in jail.
Roberson's mother, Beatrice Roberson, talking about the village of Midlothian settling a civil suit for $7.5 million.
The money doesn't matter to me. I wanted my son.
He never got a chance to meet his daughter. Justice is now 3.
Not too long ago, she asked me, where's my daddy at? And that really broke my heart.
The daughter will receive the settlement.
She'll be able to take care of herself for the rest of her life.
Roberson's family.
Jemel Roberson's story matters because it shattered a dangerous lie. The lie that training keeps you safe. The lie that compliance protects you. And the lie that doing everything right guarantees survival. Jemel wasn't a suspect. He wasn't running, and he wasn't causing harm. He was stopping it. He did the job people say they want done when violence breaks out. And still, the police escalated instead of verifying. They saw a black man with a gun and stopped asking questions. That reaction cost a life. Jemel Roberson wasn't just a tragedy. He was proof of what happens when escalation is treated like instinct instead of failure. By now, the pattern should have been impossible to miss. 3 different years, 3 different cities, and 3 different black men in Illinois. Derek House survived because an officer finally checked a license plate. Alexander Garry survived because the gun didn't go off. Jemel Roberson didn't survive, not because he did anything wrong, but because the police arrived to the scene with deadly intentions and qualified immunity clouding their judgment. These weren't isolated moments. They're connected by the same instincts. Escalate first, verify later, and explain afterward. Every story followed the same arc. A call comes in. The details are specific. Assumptions fill the gaps. And black men pay the price for that impatience. By the time Derek was pulled over in 2024, Illinois already knew how these stories ended. They'd seen the lawsuits, they'd seen the settlements, they'd seen the protests, and they've already buried the dead. Illinois had already been warned. Not once, not twice, but over many years. In 2014 alone, Illinois had already watched these encounters escalate the same way. In Chicago, in the suburbs, in parking lots, on the streets, recorded by dash cams and body cams, being served with civil lawsuits and settlements being paid out. The pattern wasn't hidden. It was documented, but instead of changing behavior, the state normalized the fallout. Illinois already knew what unchecked escalation looked like. Illinois already knew how close those moments come to funerals. And still, the reflex didn't change. Because apologies don't reverse trauma. Because survival shouldn't depend on luck, hesitation, or whether someone finally decides to do their job in the correct order. These men complied. They stayed calm. They followed commands. And even that wasn't enough. So the question isn't whether this could happen again. The question is who's next, and whether the system will pause long enough to care before it pulls the trigger. Question. After everything you've seen with Derek House, Alexander Garry, and Jemel Roberson, how many times does the same pattern have to repeat before they stop blaming the victims and stop using qualified immunity as a defense for their fuck-ups? If verification keeps coming after guns are drawn, what is police training actually prioritizing? If lawsuits, settlements, and public outrage keep piling up, why does the behavior stay the same? If these men had been white, would any of this have unfolded the same way? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. We want to know what you think, and if this video made you uncomfortable, it was supposed to. If it made you angry, sit with that. And if it made you rethink what protect and serve actually looks like, share it with others so they can get in on this conversation. Because these stories don't connect by accident, they connect by design. You've been watching Black Joy Interrupted, where we protect our community by telling the stories others won't.